I'm sure you've all seen screenshots like this or this floating around on Twitter lately of people making 10 to even 100x within a few hours on Meteora, and you're probably wondering how the f are you doing this? These are some of the trades from my personal account which I managed to hit using 0.1 Solana for each, and we managed to hit a few 10x's. And no, it's not from trading meme coins. It's actually all from fees using the new Meteora DAMM V2 system. In this video, I'm going to break down exactly how DAMM V2 works, show you my exact settings, and teach you how to spot the right opportunities before everyone else does. This isn't some recycled strategy you've seen 100 times. This is a new system that most people haven't even fully figured out yet. So what is DAMM V2? So it stands for Dynamic Automated Market Maker, and it's kind of a combination of the two things we love, the AMMs and the DLMMs. So I'm going to explain this as simply as I can and some of the main features. But getting started, we have dynamic fees which adjust with the volatility of the token. We have fee scheduling that decreases over time, and you can set up how you want this curve yourself, and this is effectively an anti-sniper mechanism, as we all know how those MEV bots can destroy the charts straight away when they are released. You can concentrate liquidity. So I'm going to try and explain some of the features as simply as possible and then show you an example, as that is always the best way to demonstrate these things. So first of all, they have dynamic fees which adjust with the volatility of the token. Obviously, when they just released, they are extremely volatile. Next, we have fee scheduling that decreases over time, which effectively acts as an anti-sniper mechanism. And how this works in a chart is you can actually set up whether you want a linear fee distribution or you want an exponential distribution where it falls more quickly at the start. And my favorite of all is we have the option to collect our fees just in Solana. So as soon as you make the position, is instantly swapped over. So you have no risk if the token does dump. And effectively, what all these features are designed to do is reduce the risk for you, but hopefully give you the most profit if there is MEV bots or snipers early on. They're designed to reward the early users of people that enter into these pools. So if you imagine I make a deposit, I'm not concentrating the liquidity, so I'm not setting a range. If the price shoots up 10x, I'll still be in range. And if it falls 5x, I will still have some tokens to withdraw as well. And in exchange for setting up this kind of range and providing liquidity early, we have an extremely high base fee. As you can see, 35% right now, but it starts even higher. And what you're hoping for is basically for when these sniper bots come in and there's massive buys early on a token, hopefully one of these transactions goes through our pool and you earn a massive amount of fees in a very short amount of time. So here is the strategy in a nutshell. Find new tokens early. I use Axiom Pro, but you can also use Jupiter 8 Pro. Set up your filters how you want to find the tokens which you want. Get in early, either pre-migration if you are comfortable with that and you have a strategy set up for that, or wait for post-migration where you see a bunch of volume flow into some of these tokens. Also, check out the bots in the Discord, in the LP Army Discord, for finding the new DAMM pools. Then what you're going to want to do is buy not your whole stack of tokens, as you do have to go 50-50 into these positions. So you will select a token, you'll have to buy a set amount of it, such as 0.05, copy the token, go into Meteora, head over to the DAMM pool, find the pool, and when you deposit, you will be going in 50-50. So when I go to deposit this, I have to go in 50-50. I'll deposit and I'm instantly in the pool. As you can see, my pool auto deposits as I have it set up with a custom Soulflow wallet. I will link to this, or I will show it later as well. Obviously, this is maybe not the best example, but this one was purely for demonstration purposes. We can clearly see volume's fallen off a bit. and this token doesn't look like it's going to shoot up, you do have to be very early into some of these coins, and I am on the 15-second time chart. That's why I like having this auto withdrawal system, so I can sell extremely quick, and Axiom integrates extremely well if you are doing DAMM. So for this example, I am going to close it straight away and instantly sell, as I don't really want to hold it. But as you can see, my losses are minimized, as I did get to withdraw all of my SOL and only took a little loss with the token. It is also important to know this strategy of hoping for these mass generations of fees normally only happens very occasionally, and you could have 10 bad pools or even just one good pool, which makes up for all of the others and more. So this is more akin to very early pump fund trading than trying to DLMM. So it is very different and not the same, risk parameters or type of people that are necessarily going to want to be doing this. So first of all, I would recommend creating a burner wallet on Solflare, as this means you don't have to approve any transactions, but you do not have to do this, as you can import any wallet into Axiom, and I'm going to be using Axiom demonstrations. But after you've done that, I would recommend doing this as well, and I would then import it into Axiom. So I would then go over and import my private key from Solflare, and I got a video on this, and you don't even have to do any of this if you don't want, but it's just what I would recommend doing. So now we've done this and you've got your wallet, it's all about basically your filters, and there's no set amount of set filters anyone really has right now, and it is a bit of a gamble, as I have kept saying, and it's more about how quick you can know which pool is a loser and doesn't look like it's going to get these trades in, and which ones looks like they might do, as it is a bit of a volume game. But I have pretty similar filters across new pairs, final stretch, and migrated, and I'm still perfecting them, and I will, have an update if I get new ones. But it kind of comes down to age, volume, and I do like having some filters for the top 10 holders and dev holdings, as I do still want to avoid rugs, and it is quite similar to the filters you would have on pump fund tokens. But there is a few other ones worth noting. As you can see, I do actually have the protocols limited. And these launch pads, the only 3 that I have, aren't actually necessary. You could put more on, but there is some caveats. Bonk Launchpad has really good anti-sniper filters. And as we're wanting MEV trades, we're wanting these big trades to go through, having a pool like Bonk doesn't really work for our filters. But you definitely want Launch a Coin. This is the service where people are able to launch coins from a tweet, and then it launches straight onto the blockchain. And these are coins which get a lot of snipers, and if the right one launches, getting involved with them is very useful. On these, you can see which ones they are. You can see some are pump fun. It's always good to have pump fun. On this particular token, we can see how it was launched. Someone used launch coin to launch it. So we could expect more snipers on a coin like this. Next up, I really don't look across the new pairs much, but what I do is have quite similar filters across all of these. So I have top 10 holders 30%. Now I have upped this, and I would recommend sticking something like 20 here. When you get into 30, you're kind of asking to be dumped on. I have just put that up because a few of the wallets I'm following seem to just ape everything, and I've wanted to show up on my feed as well. Dev holding, this should never be above 10%. You could even put this lower. Normally, if they are bundled as well, the dev is smart enough not to include that. Most coins aren't bundled either, but you definitely want to avoid bundles, so make sure to have a max bundle as well. Even though we are DAMMing, you want to have that. Age, this on Axiom, the age relates to how long it was in the final stretch stage for and how long in migrated. For migrated, to be honest, 30 minutes, probably too long. I could actually have it at 10 minutes. It's just because I wanted more in the feed. So I can put 10 minutes there. So I'm only going to see completely new graduates to migrated, as these will have the highest volume, and I can enter them all. And I know I'm only going to take about a 40% loss at worst. And just to filter out some of the really low cap ones, I do put this market cap minimum on, and volume. It can be good to see a lot of volume as well. So I would stick a number in the volume tab as well. As we are going to only be seeing these coins on our screen for a few minutes, I would recommend something For just a low amount, put 10,000, but you can up this if you want to have really strict filters so that the coins you see are only the ones which have the highest chance of having the high fee. With regard to social metrics, I do ignore this now. It's not super important if we are kind of aping these and getting out very quickly. With these, I do see the new coins quite quickly. And I see most of the ones that people are talking about in the Discord as well. And I get to see a few extra ones quite early on. So now that we have our filters, before we actually go and pick a coin and actually find a winning position, you do need to know how to create these pools, as it is quite important, as sometimes they might not even be created when you do want to ape them. So you will click on a token and potentially there will be pools created. So you can copy it, you can go over to Meteora, go on pools, click on dynamic pools v2, paste the ticker in, and potentially you will see a pool, but you can see there was only one. And we can see the TVL. You can get a summary, you can see the base fee. So that's what it is right now. So when a trade goes through this pool, it will have a 50% fee on it. We can see the fee collection is quote token, which is very important. You always want quote token on that, to be honest. Protocol fee, and you can see this exponential curve. So after 1 minute of this pool, if any trades went through, you've got a 50% fee on that trade. After 10 minutes, it falls quite a lot. And then obviously when you get to 2 hours, it's fallen right down. But this is when you will have moved over till the DLMM. And obviously you can see the stats about it. So no trades gone through, but that is because trades rarely go through these pools. You're hoping for just a couple. But let's say this pool wasn't created and we had to actually create one, which has happened even to me. So you're going to go over to create pool, and it is very cheap. Click on the create v2 pool. Make sure to click on the meme coin here, not the volatile. And this is where you're going to set your tokens. So for the quote token, Solana, that's what you want your fees to be collected in. And for the base token, you will paste in whatever token you were hoping to put in. So we'll put this euonymus, even though there was one already made. Now for the fee tier, I recommend just putting 6% on here. For the dynamic fee, put yes. The fee collection, put just quote token. And for the fee scheduler, tick yes. And this is where you can choose between exponential or linear. So it's not too difficult to understand. This says that at different time points, that's how the fee falls. And then exponential, it's obviously a lot quicker to fall. So it depends how you think the token will survive. But in general, I would just recommend exponential. And to be honest, the easiest thing to do is just to copy the price sync from whatever Dupe tells you, unless the price changes a lot. So you can see this token's already rugged. But this is how you would go about setting up, and then you would create the pool, and it is very cheap, as I said. So now we're going to try and find a winning token. So this token has just launched 1 minute ago. It has shot up so much, and most likely, it's not going to survive very long, but we just bought some tokens. We're going to see if there's a pool already made. Most likely isn't. And you can also go in the Discord to find pools as well. We're going to create a pool very quickly. Select our base token. It's not even letting me select the base token right now. So someone actually created it as I was going to launch it. So we're going to deposit straight into this pool. We can see the settings at a glance. They're already pretty good. Got the settings we wanted anyway. Exponential pool, giving us the quote token. And we can see if this will give us any fees at all. So we did actually manage to get into another token, but I think this is a good example of what can happen as well. As you can see, this token is nearly 2x from my entry, and it also dropped a 2x as well. And if I click on the pool, you can see I generated absolutely no fees. And you can actually verify this. You can go in the URL and take the pool address. And you might be able to, depending on the pool age, be able to paste this ticker in. This is actually a new Axiom update, which we launched today. And you'll be able to actually see the pool. And you can see there's been no transactions in this pool, which is pretty crazy. So when we do see a transaction in here, that would be a trade going through. You can see there was only 2. But I think this help reinforces you're not even making fees when the token does a clean 2x. You are literally just making fees off when these bots try to come in and trying to kind of catch them out almost. So in fact, the token has actually hit over a 2x right now if I close out and sell. And this is what happens quite a lot when you're on these low cap coins. You're going to be riding a lot more token profit. You can see it's getting more volatile. Maybe even going into a DAMM pool would be a much better option now. What I can do is I can go out and close this pool. Even though the fees are very low, we will have had token profit, which you can see we've actually nearly hit a 2x based on that. So it's not a huge profit, but it's better than nothing. So I'm going to go ahead and withdraw this, but what could have happened is we could have actually had over $30 in fees if we were lucky, but it doesn't always happen. So I can close that out. I can go ahead and I can sell, and we just had a straight 2x on our deposit or overall, which is, it's still quite good, even though the token only did a 3x. But that, it shows you one of the limitations as well. So a pool actually hit and it was YPET or more than the others rather than just token profits. And as you can see, I bought some tokens and sold all within a few minutes of each other. If we go over to this other tab, which is for the pool, sadly I don't have my profit loss because, I already cashed out. But you can see the 24-hour volume, the 24-hour fee, and the deposit. Deposit was a bit higher a little bit earlier. But as you can see, there was this 1.7k transaction which went through the pool and identified as a sniper, and this is what paid out, and this is kind of what we're hoping for, and they do happen occasionally. So this is the main way to make money, and then we do also have token appreciation, which is always good as well. So I feel like that covers all the main aspects. The only other thing is potentially trying to maybe find some DAMM wallets to track, but it's not really recommended and it is more of a solo activity. I will have a written guide on this on my website, Solana Guides, and I will keep up the tweets with it. And if I do make more positions, maybe I can try and make a tiny series potentially, but no promises, or maybe even stream. And I will post my updated settings if I get round and I find some that are optimal as well.